So throughout the Star Wars history, there's always been an infamous event in both timelines. That being Order 66, the termination of the Jedi after Palpatine basically manipulated Anakin into killing Mace Windu, who tried to basically arrest Palpatine for revealing to be the Sith Lord. And so, to go along with this plan, Palpatine decided to initiate the order that would kill every single Jedi throughout the galaxy. And basically had the clone troopers betray every one of their Jedi commanders. But with that, there was also some survivors. So I'm going to be doing my top 5 Jedi that survived Order 66. This is the canon version. Maybe next time we're going to do the Legends version. Pick Jedi from the Legends timeline. So I'm going to do the obvious ones. And then we'll go on to the top 3 will be like, I'll go more in depth. But number 5 is Yoda. Yoda is probably the biggest example of a Jedi surviving Order 66. He basically, after he failed to defeat Darth Sidious, he basically fled the Dagobah, the swamp planet, and decided to remain the rest of his life there until he met Luke Skywalker and trained him a little until he finally passed away at old age. Yoda is just a badass Jedi for obvious reasons, and he was able to basically blend in the world of Dagobah by pretending to be one of the creatures there. But what Yoda was really doing was trying to fool Luke into thinking he was just some wildlife. But once Yoda goes full Jedi mode, you can just tell he's the master of badassery of Jedi. So that's the reason why he's number 5. But number 4, it is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi has always been my favorite Jedi. I really do love Luke Skywalker. He's basically the protector to Luke Skywalker. After Order 66, he survived it, and he had to fight Anakin, who has become Darth Vader. We obviously know the history. And then Obi-Wan fled to Tatooine with baby Luke Skywalker and watched him for 19 years. He even left the planet to go rescue Leia. And he got to fight Darth Vader. That's the spoiler from the Obi-Wan show, and that show is controversial. But I really enjoyed what they did with Obi-Wan, having him go through the trauma of Revenge of the Sith to fully change to the Jedi we know him to be, as Ben Kenobi. But, yeah, Obi-Wan is definitely a good protector towards Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. It was wild that he was able to survive all the way to New Hope from being a Jedi survivor. And he was never caught on Tatooine. He just remained there, living in his hut, being viewed as a strange hermit of Tatooine. And it led to conflicts between him and Uncle Owen, Luke's uncle. But we obviously know that history if you know your Star Wars lore. But Obi-Wan just kept on going. He eventually got in contact with Qui-Gon, and he was able to basically become a Force ghost. And that was basically the end of his Jedi journey after Order 66. And that's what makes Obi-Wan number 4 for top 5 Jedi survivors. But number 3 is Kenjarus. So I've always loved Kenjarus. He's the biggest example of Jedi that survived Order 66. They decided to change him when the Bad Batch came out. If you don't know, in the Kenjarus comic book, he was basically on a jungle planet, and he basically had his clones betray him, and he basically had to change his name, get a ponytail, and get rid of his lightsaber, and become a sort of like junk dealer or something, until he met Hera and joined the Ghost Crew and became the sort of leader of the Ghost Crew. Kenjarus reminds me of what a Jedi can be. A Jedi who didn't learn much, but he was still able to pass his teachings on to Ezra Bridger, and he was able to take out the Grand Inquisitor when he decided to get back into the Jedi business and train Ezra. That's what makes Kenjarus so good as a Jedi, in my opinion. And his spoilers, his sacrifice at the end of Star Wars Rebels was definitely one of the highlights of Star Wars. It gives me chills just talking about it. But Kanan has always been one of my favorite Jedi, in my opinion. And as for the retcon in the Bad Batch, it was alright. I mean, it still happened. Kanan did survive. Master Deba Balaba unfortunately died. But I hope they did not retcon what happened to the clone troopers in that, because those clone troopers had a badass story with redemption from Order 66. But that's a different story. But that's the reason why Kenjarus is number 3 for me for Jedi survivors. But once you turn on that lightsaber again to fight Agent Casus, that's how we knew it was going to be super awesome. But as for number 2, it is Casus. Casus is easily one of my favorite Jedis. He is so powerful in the Force that he's able to take out 2 Inquisitors, the 9th sister, and he was able to defeat Trilla, the 2nd sister, until Darth Vader finished her off. But Casus is a unique Jedi. I loved playing as him in the Fallen Order games. I've not played Jedi Survivor, unfortunately, but I heard they did some good stuff with Survivor. But Casus' story is tragic, and it plays a big role in Fallen Order, where he basically has trauma from when his master died during Order 66, and Cal barely made it out alive, and he was able to use Master T'Pol's lightsaber and form in his own, and he was able to make his own double-bladed lightsaber, and he eventually befriended I think Seer, sorry, I forgot her name wrong, but and joined that crew to take out the Empire, and they went after the Jedi Holocron until they decided to destroy it so they can keep the information away from the Sith, who are going after the Force-sensitive children. But Casus is a badass Jedi who survived and decided to come out of hiding after 5 years since his trauma, and he goes to be a young man who is a badass with his droid BD-1. I definitely will love to play Jedi Survivor one day with the right console, and maybe I can finally play Jedi Survivor. So number 1, it is obvious, but honorable mention first, it goes to Grogu, baby Grogu. I don't have his picture, but the way Grogu survived Order 66, it was wild. The way Ahmed Best saved him in Mando Season 3 in the flashback. But honorable mention goes to Grogu. But as for number 1, it is Ahsoka Tano. She's the biggest example for Jedi that survived Order 66. She basically faked her death after being trapped in one of the Vector Star Destroyers for the Republic. Then it was super tragic to see all the clone troopers betray her, and she had to help to get Captain Rex remove his chip. But after they barely escaped, after Maul betrayed them both, basically trying to escape, but after Ahsoka tried to make Maul create a distraction, it eventually caused almost their lives. But once Ahsoka faked her death, she did lay low, and then eventually joined the rebellion with Bail Organa, and eventually joined the Ghost Crew and fought Darth Vader on Malachor all the way in Star Wars Rebels Season 2, and that was probably Ahsoka's most important moment in Rebels Season 2. And then she didn't come back for a while after being stuck on Malachor for a long time. She was pulled by Ezra Bridger in the World Between Worlds, a mysterious realm in Star Wars. But she was able to come back, and then eventually she did come back to the rebellion, and we see her story continue in the Ahsoka show. So Ahsoka is easily one of the best Jedi, in my opinion, and that being the example of her surviving Order 66. And some people don't like how Ahsoka's story keeps on continuing. I love it, because I love Ahsoka. I think all of you do too, any Ahsoka fans out there. So that's my top 5. We'll definitely do the Legends timeline for sure. I'm going to do my best with it. But I think the Legends one should also be super fun to do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.